Morning, Mr. and Mrs. Grossfield. My name is Pat, and I'm the project manager here at Anthem. And today is the 20th of January, Wednesday morning. And today we're going to do what we fondly refer to as the pre-drywall video. During these rough times with coronavirus, we do these virtually, and hopefully you'll be able to take the time and watch this. And I know that you've been out visiting regularly, but anything that you see that you question or have issue with, please bring it to Kyle's attention. He and I are in continual communication, as you're well aware. But today we're going to walk the outside of your house, inside of your house. We're going to look at all features, all penetrations, all electrical options, low volt, and hopefully capture everything that you've got listed and that your desires are. We're going to start on the outside. We're going to talk about many things this morning. I have this checklist that I walked through. We're going to look at grading and drainage and gutters and downspout, the window grids, electrical, low volt. We'll look at plumbing, mechanical. No more change orders from here forward because I'm getting ready to go through rough inspections, and then we're on the downhill run. Now, we'll also talk about projected schedule briefly at the end of the video. But I'm standing out in front this morning, and as you're well aware, we've been continuing on the outside work. And you can see today, Wednesday, we are up on top and we're working on the stucco color coat. We had the what we call the scratch coat or the base coat on the house a week ago, and we wait 7 days before we start applying color. Now you'll notice that in the middle upstairs in that front bedroom, that nothing is done yet, and that's because we made that window change to a 5-foot window. And we'll finish that when that window arrives. Now I'm told that the window will be here next week, the week of the 25th. And then we'll get that window installed, we'll get the siding completed and the stucco buttoned up behind that. So we're wrapping up the masonry this week, all exterior masonry. And as we walk around, you'll see the stone is coming along nicely, but we'll be wrapping that up. Also the stucco, as far as we can get, will be wrapped up this week. The scaffolding will come down in front of the main garage, and as soon as weather permits, which we're hoping we'll get a break in the weather maybe next week, we'll get the driveway poured, front sidewalk, and then we'll move to grading the outside after that. So weather permitting, and what we have to be conscious of on the flat work or the driveway and the sidewalks is our overnight low temperatures. Like today would be a great day to pour this driveway. We're going to have 50-55 degrees today, but the lows tonight and the rest of the week are in the high teens, low 20s, and we don't want that to go below maybe 28 when we're doing flat work, whether it's interior or exterior. We really monitor the overnight low temperatures because we don't want that freezing. We'd like it to cure. So this week is probably not going to happen with any flat work anywhere. We are continuing with foundation work because we can do a different type of concrete mix, and we can also blanket foundations, to keep the heat in. But as soon as we start blanketing flat work, driveways and sidewalks, then we get discoloration, and we end up replacing flat work down the road. So we're going to wait until we get some good temperatures ahead of us here. We're hoping by the 1st of the month, and then we'll be getting the exterior driveway and sidewalk in. So that's why that's not poured yet. We missed the window 2 weeks ago just because I had scaffolding up for the stucco work. So now we're just monitoring the temperatures on a daily basis and projecting each week as best as we're able. So with that said, the first thing I'd like to point out to you, and you probably have a copy of this, but if not, just reach out to Kyle and he'll provide you with that. And that's a copy of your plot plan. And this tells us a lot of information. There's a legend on the lower right which tells you what the symbols mean, but what this shows is the outline or the footprint of all the concrete, your concrete foundation, it gives us elevations, gives us percentages of slope, how your lot will be graded, where the stairs go. Everything is on here. Some of these abbreviations in the center of the plot plan here. TOF is top of foundation elevation. Finished floor is what the FF stands for, and that's an 08.4. What that refers to is that's real GPS elevations. So as you're sitting at your dining room table, you'll be sitting at 5,408.4 feet above sea level. So that's what those symbols mean there. Tells us that we're building a 60-foot wide product. The plan is a 4778. Your elevation is a modern prairie. These little stop sign symbols that you'll see around the plot plan, these are number of steps. So for example, from your 2-car garage into the house, we've got 3 steps going up to the finished floor. At the front entry off of the porch, there'll be 1 step up. On your sidewalk here, which will take right to the city sidewalk, you know, we're going to have at least 3 steps at that front porch, and then 3 steps. We might split this up a little bit to make it a gentle, nice front walk, but we'll have 6 steps total from the front sidewalk, from the city walk, up to that front porch. All these symbols here, which have little X's, are elevations. So it tells me that you know, what the elevation points that I need to achieve at grade. This stands for high point on the lot, and on the other side it's off the 2-car. That's the high point. That's where we split grade. From that point, everything will drain back into the rear of the lot, to the side and to the rear, down the swales. We're going to create a swale next to your neighbor, and then it'll come straight sheeting. All the water will sheet straight back to the property line. On this side, we'll have you know, a 14% grade down to the swale, and then from the high point, everything drains back, and from the high point, everything forward. Driveway gives us a slope, percentage of slope on the drive, very shallow up at the apron to the entrance to the garages, only a 2.3% slope, but then a little steeper as we break grade to get it to drain to the front sidewalk. So, but this is a very manageable, easy driveway. Also, the driveway is south facing, so you'll enjoy that during the winter time. Very little shoveling going on unless we get big snow dumps, but everything will melt off during the day pretty rapidly. So this is your plot plan, and this helps in your planning and landscaping work also. But there are dimensions here, and those are the ones that are in parentheses, or right here, for example, from corner of foundation to property line, it's 13 feet in the front. We're at about 15 feet side setback. In the rear, that is a 35-foot rear setback from the concrete. So it gives dimensions, it gives percentages of grade that you're required to maintain as well, and we want to have everything, all drainage, all grading, sloping away from the foundation, and that's to maintain your 10-year structural warranty. And I advise every homeowner this, and that is maintain those grades, and when you're working with your landscaper, make sure that he's going to, because we definitely don't want to void that warranty. If you flatten out that grade on the side of your house, you're jeopardizing that. So we just want to make sure you're aware of that. So grading and drainage. Now, gutters and downspouts, you'll see that we have gutters, rough gutters, what we call up on the house. Those are the main gutters. In the front here, we got a downspout coming down to the garage roof. You'll see in the front, there's a downspout location. But that front garage roof will slope over. We'll have a downspout on the corner going out to the side. We don't have anything coming down here onto the drive area. This front one will slope into the landscape area, which will absorb or take on any water. And I'll point those out as we go around as well. So as we're standing here in the front, you can see we've got a mixture of stone, stucco above. We got garage coach lights on. Now, as we walk around, I've got your electric Mini with me that I'll be referring to. I also have your low volt diagram that I'll be referring to, so bear with me as we go through those items. But I want to make sure I get everything pointed out. I'm going to flip here and kind of keep my thumb on the low volts as well. So I have your electric Mini here, which we'll be looking at and referring to, and then I have your low volt diagram as well, which we'll be referring to. Now, on the exterior of the first level, you can see on the low volt diagram we have no exterior penetrations, no symbols on the outside. So there is no low volt outside. For example, if you were doing cameras, exterior security cameras or something, those would show me the pre-wires here. Well, we don't have any on the main floor. We don't have any exterior on the upper. Then there shows me the basement. We don't have any exterior low volt penetrations. Now we do have some options, some electrical options that I'll be pointing out as we walk around the outside. In the front, we don't have anything, but we do have on all four corners, you've requested an additional waterproof outlet. I'll point those out as we go. You've opted for some additional hose bibs, and I'll point those out as we go. At the rear, on the ground level, which we'll look at first, we've got waterproof outlet in the ceiling of that deck, additional hose bib, and I'll be pointing those out as we go. So on the electrical side, we have no additional electric in this area, but we're going to walk around. We'll start on the garage side. We're going to walk down and around the complete exterior, and we'll talk about what's going on here. So as we walk around the east side, you can see we're wrapping up the masonry on this side, and you've requested an additional waterproof outlet that's here in front of the gas meter. This is the main gas meter with the 1.5-inch main going inside. Talk about that a little bit as we get more inside. On this exterior facade, the penetrations that we have is we've got a hose bib, you can see there. The concrete foundation is almost waist high as we're walking through here, so that hose bib needed to be up into the floor joist. The same as what we've got there. The black vents are the water heater intake and exhaust, and the white ones are from the furnace. Up on the side wall, we've got a penetration, and that's a bath fan vent. Nothing else up high. No other electrical requests up high. As we step down to the rear, to the walkout area, you can see the tubes coming out of the wall. We have a waterproof electric outlet there. These are what we call the condensate lines for the air conditioning units. We've got one air conditioning unit which services the basement and the main floor, and the other air conditioning unit services the top floor. And we'll talk more about that as we get inside the house. But this is where the condensate units will be placed, and that's a service outlet for them. We've got the high volt wire coming out of the wall. This is the 220 circuit for the AC units. As you step down, this is the main electric service panel distribution. And what we have here, you've selected an interior load center, and I'll point that out in the basement when we get in there. But this is the main disconnect, for the house. We've got electrical service, so this is where the meter will go. And after inspections, which begin next Monday, that'll get released to United Power, and then they'll set the permanent meter. Down here we got all your low volt penetrations, which are coming from your structured wiring panel in the basement, which I'll point out to you when we get inside. So your Cat 6, your internet, your cable, everything comes out here. Your service provider, whether it's CenturyLink or Xfinity, they'll set a disconnection box here. All those wires terminate inside of their box. These tubes sticking out of the ground is the underground pre-wire for the low volt, which come from the rear electric service area. And in yours, I believe it comes from the other side of the house. So we got underground electric, underground low volt to the main disconnect panel. As we turn the corner in the rear, see a couple of penetrations here. This is a requested waterproof outlet here. We've got the rear hose bib, and then this is the sump pump discharge pipe for this low level of the house. On the walkout houses that we build, we have two sump pumps that we installed. One is in the high side of the basement lot, and then this is in the low, because we stepped the grade, the underground foundation grade, and that's about 5 feet deep here. There's a sump pump in the low part and one in the high part of the excavation. So this sump pipe will turn down, and then a discharge pipe down the grade. Hose bib. See, we've got no penetrations on this side other than this fan, and this is the intake exhaust for your kitchen, which I'll talk about a little bit later. As we move around, we'll take a shot of this rear. You can see we've got most of the lower level masonry done. We'll be stoning the columns and the exterior fireplace up on the deck elevation. End of the week, first of next, we'll be wrapping that up. Then we'll be measuring for the metal rails which go on the deck. All of this is open. Everything that you see is open. Now this deck on this lowest level, that stays open joists. Up above all covers, but I have to wait till I get through all inspection processes. Our third-party inspectors and our city inspectors need to see all connections. They need to see all wiring. So make sure that after we get through rough inspections, then we get to going and putting the soffits in. So all that will be covered up. But as we're going to step up on the patio, but I wanted to give you a complete shot of this rear. Now, at the sliding patio door, we've got two coach lights, one on each side, and power outlet below. Also, in this uncovered deck area, you've asked for a switched outlet. This is the switched outlet location out here, and that's in a watertight, weather-tight conduit and box, so that's totally sealed. No weather will affect that outlet. I'll close that when we get inside. So, two coach lights, optional, second one, waterproof outlet. And that pretty much wraps up the back patio area. But as we turn the corner, walking up on the west side now, this is one of those additional waterproof outlets you've requested, plus an additional hose bib that you've requested. You've requested 3 additional hose bibs, and this is number 1 of 3. And I'll point out the other 2 as we proceed. On this side of the house, you can see we don't have any exterior penetrations until we get up front. This lower window well, this fills with dirt and rock, and in every walkout, well, in every house, all window wells, we do put a drain inside of there. So in the event that we get any excessive moisture or rains, and the window well fills up, well, we've got it going to the drain, to the interior drain system, to the sump pits. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get in the basement. Exterior penetration here, and this is the high level sump discharge, and that'll go down the grade and slope out to drain to the swale as well. I'll show you that sump pit inside. At the front corner, we got the optional another waterproof outlet that you requested. This is the front hose bib. And then this penetration, this copper pipe, is for the landscape irrigation. This is where the valve box will go when we landscape, and we do landscape the front yards. But the valve box that we put in is capable and sized accordingly, so that you don't have to set another one for any zones that you put for irrigation into your side and rear yard. The valve box can accommodate those additional valves. So here we are at the front porch. Now, due to grade, and I'm going to just make you aware of this, the elevation, and what I mean by the grade is the elevation from the front porch down to the finished grade exceeds the normal. So we'll be putting metal railing in between these columns. These columns that are still plywood, those get exterior trim material, wood trim. So that's why those aren't on yet. We wanted to get all the masonry butting to it. When we come back to do the soffits after inspections, that's when we'll wrap the columns with wood. Then the downspouts go on the house when we get all of that done, and then we start exterior paint. So these columns wrap in wood, and then as you're aware, we have a wood soffit as well, and that'll close up after inspections. So I'll have metal guardrails between columns, all the way here, and I'm going to figure out this return on this front side here. I'm going to see what I can do with grade first, because these front columns are offset in the front of the porch. It's a tricky little detail, so maybe with your input we could figure that out, but I'll get with Kyle as we move down the road here a little bit. So this being the front entry, as I mentioned, we have 6 steps on our plot plan to get to grade. I don't think I'm going to need that many, but we'll be stepping this down, and then we'll take a couple steps down. All of the steps will not be together. If I can get away with 3 steps or half of that amount, maybe 4, you know, I'll probably split 2 and 2, something like that, just to make it very easy to navigate, so that we have no issues for you or any of your guests or anybody visiting you. You know, it'll be a very gentle step inside front sidewalk. Easily navigable. So as we move around, we're going to step into the garages. And I think I've covered all of our exterior items here. Additional hose bib on the front, additional hose bib in the rear. Whoops, on that walkout. Additional hose bib in the rear, additional coach light, the waterproof ceiling, waterproof outlet in the ceiling of that lower level deck. But in the garage, I want to talk to you a little bit about things in the garage. So we're going to move into, I've got the single stall garage door open. I'm going to leave that 2 stall closed, but we'll go in, we're going to talk about the garage, and then we'll move to the front entry. So follow me in the garage. Okay, so I'm standing in between the single and the 2.5 car. In the single stall garage, you haven't requested any additional electrical outlets or anything like that. So what we have installed are all of our standard outlet locations on each wall. Behind this door, there's another outlet on this wall. This door appeared out of nowhere a couple weeks ago. I'll be putting it in the dumpster today. There's the back wall outlet. I'm not sure which one on this house that we will designate as the irrigation clock, or the landscape, or the irrigation clock. It might be that back wall of this single stall. It might be this one out front. I have a feeling that they'll use this one because then they'll do underground wiring over to the valve box. Into the 2.5 car garage, you requested 1 additional dedicated outlet, which I will point out to you. But this right here is a switch for the ceiling lights. And I'm not ready to talk about the ceiling lights quite yet, but put your ceiling lights in the garages, because they're all connected together, and you've opted for several on a 3-way switch. So you can operate it from this location and from the owner's entry. We've got power outlets around the room on each wall. And they're all on GFI circuitry. I'm going to turn to your low volt, because you've asked for a CP location here on the low volt. CP is Cat 6 pre-wire, and CP, see on this little thing it tells us the abbreviations here. So CP stands for phone and data, cable and satellite port. That's here. We've got GFI circuit. GFI circuit next to the entry. On the other side of the door, we have 2 switches here. One is a 3-way switch for the exterior coach lights, and the other is for the interior garage lights. You requested a dedicated outlet here, and that's what this one is. This is a dedicated service outlet. On this side, we've got service outlets. Now in the garage, you've selected, you've requested many lights in the ceiling. You know, our standard, I believe, is just like 3 lights, but you've requested all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 additional lights. Now, I'm required by code, or I'm not allowed by code, would be a better way to term it, to put recessed cans in this ceiling, because this is a fire stop from garage or where combustible materials could be against a living space. So the ceiling does get fire tape, but I'm not allowed to put penetrations through that fire stop. So all of these lights in the garage are going to all be LEDs. They all surface mount. They look like recessed cans, but they're surface mount fixtures, so they're all going to be LEDs. So all of these lights in the ceiling, and I'm going to count them as we go. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got a service outlet for the garage door opener plus the low volt wiring. The low volt goes down to each side of the garage door. 4, 5, 6. Got a junction box for the coach lights. 7, 8, 9. 9 lights, power and low volt for this garage door opener. Let me count these again on your mini. Total, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good, 10. Miscounted the first time. So, this is the garage. I meant the owner's entry. We might as well step right inside. I might do the homeowner's entry, and then we'll take a pause and we'll begin at the front entry to walk through the main part of the house. So we'll just continue to march. As we walk into the garage, into the owner's entry, you see a light switch here on your right, and that's to turn on what I call the travelers, or the lights that you want to see as you walk ahead of yourself. Also, we wire very logically, and I've really taken great pains on the switching in your house. I know you've requested certain areas for switches, but we've done a few additional items, a few additional things to make your house more livable, as I feel. But anywhere we walk into it or we enter an area, there's a switch to turn lights on ahead of yourself for traveling lights, and then a switch at the other end to turn off behind yourself. So here in the homeowner's entry, you know, we'll walk in, we've got a three-way switch which turn on recessed cans. You've requested all of these to come on together, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 recessed cans switched together. And then the other side of that three-way switch to turn off behind yourself as you leave the entry, you know, is here. So this area, the project room, you've selected cabinets here, and I know we had a late change because I was worried about this, and I'm glad you added the additional cabinet. But we've got a power outlet in that knee space in your cabinet area in the entry. In the mud room, which I'll finally refer to here, we've got a service outlet below, coat closet here against the garage. As we move through the owner's entry, we're going to turn off lights behind ourselves. We'll go into the guest area first. And I also put the lights on the four-way. So if someone staying in your guest room, they don't have to walk over there to turn the travelers on. It'll come from here as well. But as we move into the guest suite, we've got 3 switches on your left. And you've requested 4 recessed cans in the ceiling, so 1 switch is for the cans. We've got a ceiling fan pre-wired in the center. One of those switches is for the ceiling fan. Now those are double switches, they're double rockers, one to operate a ceiling fan and the other to operate a light kit on the fan. And then the third switch in every room, whether it's a bedroom, a great room, a dining, wherever it is, we put what we call a half-switched outlet. And they're generally across the room, and that means that 1/2 of an outlet is on the switch, and the other half is continually hot. So we've got the half hot for this room underneath the back window. So if you wanted to plug a lamp, sit on a table, if you'd like to plug a lamp in, that'll operate from the switch. No additional power outlets in this room, but we've got standard outlets around the room, everywhere around the room. Low volt standpoint, you've requested in this guest bedroom a UP, which is located right here per your diagram, and the UP stands for a dual phone data and cable satellite port. I'm sorry, here's your half switched outlet. You see my 1/2 mark, not under the window, I apologize. So the switches again, as we come in, got 3 switches. One is for the ceiling cans, one is for the ceiling fan, the other is for the half switched outlet. Over next to the patio door, I've put the lights in the ceiling on a 3-way switch, so you can turn the can lights on from either location. Also, this light will turn on 1/2 or 4 recessed cans on your deck, so that if you have a guest and they want to step out during off hours or something like that, when they have their own operation of some exterior lighting, so they could sit out on the patio if no one else is around. So as a convenience, we have switched that on a 3-way at the other location, which I'll show you when we get there. Let me get back to my electrical mini. So 2 switches. One is to turn on and off the ceiling cans. The other, turn on one half of the patio cans. As we walk into the guest bath, off to the right is the walk-in closet. We've got recessed cam with a light switch inside. We have vanity light, power outlet next to the vanity. Light switches. As you come in, there are 2 switches in the bathroom. One is for the recessed can above the tub, and the vanity light go on together. The other switch is for the fan over the stool. So this is the poured shower pan you requested. Shower valve here. We put those up at 84. See, I'm 6'1", and this gives me plenty of room here that shower head is above my head. So we put all shower heads at 84 inches, 7 feet. So as we leave the guest bedroom, turn off lights behind yourself. You can turn on lights ahead, and then turn them off again as you leave. So now we're going to be entering the kitchen area, and I've got 3 switches located here. One is for the kitchen cans, one is for the dining cans, and then there's a 3-way switch for the under cabinet lights. So as you enter the kitchen area, we've got a little storage closet here with no light in the storage closet or linen. There'll be a stack of shelves in there. But as we move into the kitchen dining area, we've got 3 switches on our left. As you come in, you can turn on the recessed cans, you can turn on the under cabinet lights and the dining lights. Now I know that we've done a late change here with your assistance here in the last week on the location of these recessed cans around the island area, and I believe I have them per your requirements. Well, we've got cabinets here, and above the cabinets we have service outlet. We also, on the low volt side, have what's a T1, which is telephone. Also have a power outlet here. So above each cabinet there's a power outlet and a T1 port. We're going to pause just for a minute and pick this up. So as I had mentioned, you know, the 3 switches here at the entrance to the kitchen from the owner's entry. We've got recessed cans, kitchen recessed cans, the dining cans on 3-way, and the under cabinet lighting in the kitchen. So here we are in the kitchen, and we've got the refrigerator wall, is how I term it. We've got the refrigerator here with power, with water box below. These wires that are sticking on the wall are the under cabinet lights, and we'll count those as we go. I believe in this plan, I think I've got 9. But we got a microwave drawer. This is the power for the microwave. These outlets you requested to be horizontally set at 38.5. So we got those all set at the correct height, moving around the room. Under cabinet lights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we get to the double oven. So this is where the double oven will go. You'll see this silver pipe going through the wall, photovoltaic power source. We'll talk about that a little bit later. This main power cord here, this is the 220 circuit for the double oven. Excuse me. Pantry area. As we walk into the pantry, now going back to the minor change that we made about a week ago, where we relocated the 2 recessed cans that were out here beyond the island. We put one down at the end of the island per your request. We also moved the other one inside the pantry. So that's this one here. So as you come into the pantry, there's a light switch on your right, which operate this can in the lower drop. And we need to do this drop for the venting system, but then cans high. We also have power outlet low in the pantry. And I'm going to turn back to my electrical mini, pardon me, just to make sure I'm following along properly. Yes, this outlet was your request to have here. So we've got a little drop soffit in here, but this pantry lines with shelves. You're going to be ecstatic about all the storage you're going to have in here. So we got the recessed can that we relocated from the kitchen area into here. And as we come back out, here we have the range wall. Another under cabinet light on this end. We've got our range hood here. This is the power for the vent fan and the light. And that goes out, and that's what goes out through the garage there. That's why we dropped that soffit. So we got power outlets horizontally placed above countertop. We've got the gas line for the cooktop and power. So we've got base cabinets on each side, upper cabinets, cooktop, and then this pantry door is made out of cabinet fronts as well. So it looks like a complete line of cabinets coming through here. Turn around, we've got the sink wall. We've got a gap. You can see things are far away from that wall. That's because there's a dead space behind the cabinet. So the cabinet, back of cabinet really starts behind the pipes. It comes forward. You see this vent here, that's a return air vent in the island. That's to draw air out of the room area. We've got another return air on the other side at the entryway, but this we need to draw air. We've got return air. So here's our big island. And at this end, we do have cabinets as well. And this wire sticking out of the floor, I'm required to have an outlet on the side of the cabinet. So this will come up inside the cabinet, and then we'll have an outlet mounted on the side of the cabinet. On the other side of the island, required power outlets. That one's got to be up because of the pass-through, and these are code issues. We're required to have them in certain locations. And we've got standard power outlets low. Countertop overhangs. Above this pass-through countertop, or this low countertop, we have spaced the 4 pendants. And as you can see, we've removed the recessed can, relocated at the end of the island per your request. We got 4 recessed cans in the dining area. Also have the nook fixture here, which is centered on the sink and the door. Switch here is for 3-way on the dining nook. So we got power outlet above the cabinets here. Pardon me. These are all outlets. These are all outlets here. This 3-way switch here is for the dining room cans, so they'll operate from the owner's entry area and next to the patio door. We got 4 recessed cans. Also in the ceiling, we also have speaker pre-wires. You can see these, 1, 2 here. Also, above the kitchen island, we have 2 other speaker pre-wires, behind the island. 1 here, and 1 here. Those are speaker pre-wires. Into the butler's pantry. Got a 3-way switch on the cans going in. So we got recessed cans in the ceiling. We also have a wireless access point located. We've got outlets above cabinets and countertop with under cabinet light. And the under cabinet light is here on the left wall. So we've got recessed cans on a 3-way for entry and exit, and we've got the under cabinet light switch. And this is the 3-way to turn off the cans in the butler's pantry as you exit or enter. And then we're into the dining room. And in the dining room, we've got 2 switches off the right-hand side. What we've got is recessed cans, 4 recessed cans, and ceiling light pre-wire, ceiling light. Power outlets around the room. In the dining room, no additional electric, if my memory serves. We get back to the electric mini, but we do have 2 ceiling speaker pre-wires. Get there? Nope, we don't. I apologize. Just the wireless access point in the butler's pantry. No speaker pre-wires. But we do have 4 recessed cans and the ceiling light. takes us to the other side of the room, and both of the recessed cans and the ceiling light are on three-way switches together from either entrance. And that brings us into the main entry, or the foyer. There's a 4-gang switch box here, meaning 4. What we have here, switch is for exterior coach lights, and again, that's on a 3-way at the garage owner's entry, so you can turn those exterior coach lights on here, on or off here, or at the owner's entry. We've got the outside recessed cans, and those are in the ceiling. Can't see through the plastic, but there are recessed cans in the ceiling of the front porch. Then we have foyer lights. So we've got recessed cans recessed cans in the foyer. We've got the coach light 3-way, the outside, and then the chandeliers. Those are on 3-way as well. So you could turn the recessed cans or the chandeliers on from this area. So we've got chandelier centered in the foyer entrance, chandelier centered in the stairwell. We've got 4 recessed cans here in the entry, plus the travelers up top, which we'll talk a little bit more about when we get going up the stairs. So we've got 2 light switches there at the entry for the inside. One is for the chandeliers and the other is for the recessed cans. As you leave the entry or the foyer, I'll show you those switches. We've got power outlets low in the foyer. Walk into the powder room. Recessed can light here. Coat closet, and then the powder room. Inside the powder room, 2 switches. One is for the fan, the other is for the light above the sink. Looking at the low volt, nothing in the foyer, nothing in the, nothing else. The powder room, power outlet next to the sink, light above the sink, and fan. Coat reception area. Then we've got 3 switches here, and that's these are for 3-way to turn the chandeliers off behind yourself. The other is for the cans at the stairs, going up the stairs, and the other is for the step lights going upstairs. So you can turn off lights behind yourself, turn on step lights and travelers ahead of yourself in the stairwell. This single switch here, this is the thermostat wire, which will operate the furnace and air conditioning for the main level and the basement. This switch here is for the basement stair LEDs, because we've got LED lights in the ceiling. Now you've requested on the rake of the ceiling going down a light, and that'll be an LED. So these are all the same type of lights, and those are LED lights. 1, 2, 3, and 1 at the base of the stairs, and those are on a 3-way at the base of the stairs as well. So we got lights off behind yourself, lights to go upstairs, and step lights going up. Then we've got the basement stair lights going down. Right around the corner, we have got switch for fan, ceiling fan in the center of the grand room, switch for all of the recessed cans in the grand room. Then we have a switch for half hot or switched outlet across the room. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 recessed cans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 recessed cans in the grand room and ceiling fan. Service outlets, wherever we have open rail, we're required to have a floor outlet. So we've got floor outlet, and that has a brass trim that goes on. Floor outlet on this end of the stairwell. Low volt, looks like we got a CP located up. Sorry about that. That's the subwoofer location on the low volt with power next to it. At this wall, we have got conduit and an LCR at 66. We got power at 66. Here as well, and this goes down to the structured wiring panel downstairs. Power below. Floor outlet, front of both windows, you'll see those, and service outlet. Fireplace. We've got the emergency gas shut off in the floor for the fireplace, and that'll have a chrome trim on it at flush with the floor surface. So fireplace, this is the switch to operate the fireplace. And you've got the see-through going to the outside, which we'll step out in a minute. Then we got a lot of switches here next to the sliding patio door. And see, we put that half-hot outlet on a three-way so we can turn it on or off from there or here. We have got the three-way for the dining nook, one on one side, one on the other. Then we have a three-way switch for those lights on this side that I mentioned. We put it on a three-way switch with the guest suite. So you can operate the guest side, the 4 recessed cans, three-way. The other 4 switches, we have a switch for the other recessed cans on the other side of the patio, which we'll step out in just a moment. We also have a waterproof outlet in the ceiling outside. So 3-way switch to operate these. We've got also a low volt pre-wire out here, which I'm fumbling with my paperwork. But we got four speaker pre-wires, which I'll point those out. But our ceiling outlet switch is located on this end of the deck. That's this one in the ceiling. And we got recessed cans, 4 recessed cans on this side, 4 on the other side, and then the 4 speaker pre-wires with 2 ceiling fan pre-wires. As you can see, this is the 2-sided fireplace, and this gets a total masonry wrap, floor to ceiling, and returns on both sides. So all those switches are located here. Plus the switch for the ceiling fan. Up high on this wall, we requested 2 pre-wires for wall speakers. That's these black boxes with wires coming out of the green wall. Those are the speaker pre-wires. That pretty much wraps up the grand room and the kitchen. I think I've covered everything, but if there's something I missed, let me know. We're gonna go upstairs. Turn the page on both. So we've got the can lights up the stairwell. Got that switch here as I mentioned, plus the step lights going up. Step lights going up, we've got 2 on the main landing, 1 mid-stair tread, and then 1 up on the upper stair landing. Switches up here, and those are 3 ways. We've got a 3-way for the step lights, 3-way for the ceiling cans, and the chandelier lights. You can turn on those chandeliers. Those entry chandeliers are off from both locations. As I move up, turn my pages. So this being, we're walking into bedroom 4 is, I believe, what it will be. We've got 3, I put this switch going into the bedroom. You can see there's quite a distance from the door over to the main sleeping area. Well, I put the ceiling cans on a 3-way switch. So as you enter the bedroom, off to the left here is the closet, and inside the closet there's a light switch with a recessed can. But I put these on a 3-way because I didn't think it was comfortable to me, and I hope you would agree with it. But I could turn the ceiling lights on in the bedroom. And in this bedroom, we've got 5 recessed cans, 1 and 4. We've got a ceiling fan pre-wire and a half-hot outlet across the room. Now, so we turn on the recessed cans as you walk in the door, but then I put it on a three-way over here, and I just felt it was a lot more livable than if these lights were on a three-way. But we got the three-way on the cans. I'll explain that just a little bit more. We've got the ceiling fan pre-wire, and we've got the half-switched outlet in the corner of the room. But I felt if I was in this room and I was ready to retire, that I didn't want to go all the way to the door to turn those lights off. So that's why I put the recessed cans on the three-way as you enter and exit the room. Also make it more convenient, closer to the bed area or the sleeping area. Now we've got bath 3 up here. As you walk in, there are 2 switches on your left. One is for the light over the vanity and the recessed can above the tub shower combination. Again, shower heads at the 84 inches. And then we have a fan as well, exhaust fan. So 2 switches. One is for the lights and one is for the fan. Okay. Oh, low volt, sorry. Low volt in this area. Requested a CP at this location, which that CP is looks like Cat 6 and cable. Smoke detector as you enter or exit the room is located high. This is what we call a transfer grill, and that's to allow air to pass in and out of this bedroom for circulation and to make the system run more efficiently. So, as we enter the other portion of the upstairs, we've got traveling lights ahead of ourselves here, cans down the hallway. We've got main closet on the left, the upstairs mechanical room. We've got a light on the sidewall in the mechanical room with a switch here. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the air handler for the upstairs only, for the top level. So this will service all the bedrooms and bathrooms on the top level. We've got an emergency collection pan underneath the furnace. We have condensate piping going all the way into a floor drain, which goes all the way down to the basement. We've got the gas shut off for the furnace here. These are the air conditioning connection lines which go to the furnace. Power service outlets around. Okay, now these lights in this hallway I've got on a 4-way switch. So if you enter the master suite, you can turn those lights off behind yourself, or when you're leaving the master suite, you can turn them on. Also from the bedroom 3 area, it's also the hallway lights are on that switch. We call that a 4-way when you can operate it from 3 locations. Don't ask me why. Moving into bedroom 3, got the light switch, and I did the same thing as the other bedroom, and I hope you're okay with this, but I put it on a 3-way switch. So I got all the recessed cans ahead of us, and then you can turn them off again close to the sleeping area. So as you come into the bedroom, you've got a walk-in closet, recessed can, and switch inside. 3 switches here. One is the 3-way for the recessed cans, the other is for the ceiling fan pre-wire, and the third one is for the half-switched outlet. Again, service outlets around the room. In this bedroom, also requested the CP location, and that is the low volt here down low on this adjoining wall. Service outlets around the room. This is that window that I was telling you that will be coming next week. We'll have that installed and buttoned up next week. We'll move into bedroom 2. Again, light switch here. So as you move into bedroom number 2, 3 switches here. We've got recessed cans, ceiling fan pre-wire, and half-hot outlet. Bathroom number 2, pretty standard again. We've got the sink with power outlet next to it, light above the vanity, and recessed can above the tub shower combination. This bedroom also has requested a CP location on the low volt end, and that's on the adjoining wall for the laundry room. This is CP pre-wire right here. Service outlets around the room. I will leave the secondary area Turn off lights behind ourselves. This is the laundry room. 2 switches inside. One is for the ceiling lights. The other is for the fan in here. In the laundry, we've added an additional recess can. Standard is 2. You've got 3, and we evenly space those in the room. Also fan. Okay, this is the washer dryer location. Washer left, dryer right. Power for the dryer and power for the washing machine. We've got above countertop height outlets on both walls. This soffit I'm required to drop because the dryer vent, I'm not allowed to penetrate straight up through that wall, because in your structure, or in these structures in this plan, I've got what are called shear panels. And these are these manufactured blocking panels that are required from a structural standpoint to resist any lateral movement in the roof system. Well, I can't penetrate those blocking panels. So in all 4778 or invite plans, I need to build a soffit because we need to bring our dryer vent, jog our dryer vent up and out through the roof. So this little soffit, this will look fine over the washer and dryer when it's finished. Again, through the laundry room, you'll see again that photovoltaic tube coming up from, that's all the way from the basement, which I'll talk a little bit about when we get to the basement. But this goes up into the attic space. I'm going to close this window behind myself. And we'll move into the master area. So we turn off lights behind ourselves. As you walk into the master, 2 light switches here. One is to turn on lights ahead of yourself. In the traveling area. The other is to turn off lights behind yourself. This is the master closet. As we enter the master closet, we've got a light switch, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 recessed cans in the master closet. Well, the 5th one in the center was the optional. This is where our attic access is located as well, in the master closet. And up inside that attic access, you'll see a service light on a pull chain, plus a power outlet up there for any service needs that you may have or someone may have in the attic. So 5 recessed cans and power outlet low. Switch. We'll move into the master bathroom. So in the master bathroom, this is a different configuration. And as you walk into the master bathroom, I have 2 switches on your left, and one is for the vanity lights, and one is for the fan. So we've got vanity lights. This is double vanity with power on each end, and lights above each sink. Master stool room, 2 switches inside. One is for the recessed can, and the other is for the fan. Then here we are in the, what's fondly referred to as the wet room. We've got the drying off area that I'm standing in. We've got 2 switches here. One is for the cans over the dry off area, 3 recessed cans. We also installed the heat supply at this location. The other is for the recessed cans in the wet area. So this is all glass panel. This is where the glass door will be. We've got shower area. We've got 2 shower heads at 84 with independent valves. We've got a handheld shower valve right above the bench, and then the step up into the tub area. These 2 windows were back ordered. The supplier sent the wrong size. Right now they're just what we call back set. They're set on the inside. And when I pass my inspections, we'll just flip those around outside. The siding contractor does that, so we'll install them correctly probably next week from the outside as we get going on buttoning up the outside. So this is the master shower and tub area, the wet room. We've got the door located right here, swinging both ways in and out to the dry off area. Then we'll leave the bathroom, turn off lights behind ourselves, walk into the master suite. As we walk in the master bedroom area, I've got 2 switches here. One is for the recessed cans. We've got 4 recessed cans in the coffered ceiling. and the other we do a standard ceiling fan pre-wire here. From a low volt standpoint in the master bedroom, we got two. We got a CP and a UP, and CP located on the exterior wall, and then UP is located on the adjoining laundry wall. Standard outlets around the room. We've got switches. Now I separated switches here as I feel that how it would be lived. And what I've got here is on a three-way switch. We have the cans for the hallway, plus the master cans. They're on a three-way switch. You can turn them on and off from the entry, and then as you're closer to the bed wall, you can turn those off. I've separated these three switches here, and these are for the outside ceiling outlet, the outside cans, and the ceiling fan. So I've got the outside separated, and I felt moving the outside a little bit further away because you use that, you'll be using the outside less frequently than the recessed cans in your bedroom. You're going to be going in and out of your bedroom more than going in and out of the outdoor room. But on the outdoor room, you come out, we've got 4 recessed cans, ceiling fan pre-wire. We also have a switched outlet in the ceiling per your request. Also, the additional hose bib. I forgot to point out, which we will when we go down, the additional hose bib in the garage. But this is the optional hose bib here. Waterproof outlet next to the door. Okay, now we'll head out of the master area, back down the hallway, and head down to the basement. So I want to correct myself. There's not an additional hose bib in the garage. It is outside, which was the first one that I pointed out as we started to walk down the side of the house. But as we're getting ready to go to the basement, I had mentioned earlier in this foyer, right on the wall by the thermostat, this is the three-way switch for the basement LEDs as we come down. And as we go down the basement, you see this light here. This is per your request, centered over the stairs. Another LED under this landing. That goes on with the recessed can at the base of the stairs. And then there's a three-way switch here to turn those stair lights off behind yourself. Power outlets low in the stair foyer. And now we're into the unfinished basement area. Right inside the doorway, there's a switch for all of the ceiling lights that we've placed down here. So as you can see, we framed, if we were going to finish this basement, this is right where this frame wall will go, but we framed these two walls because you've selected an interior load center. And that's where we've located your load center and your structured wiring panel, and we'll get to that in a minute. But as we move around or toward the patio door, we've got a switched outlet in the ceiling, as I mentioned. That's this single switch here. And then I've got a three-way switch for all of the basement lights next to the stairs in here, then for the outside lights, outside coach lights. Got the bathroom rough in. Big open space. Over here, this is that back corner that I mentioned outside where that wet pipe comes out. We've got the hose bib location plus the sump ejection pipe. So this is our low sump pit, and that's where we will be installing that sump pump, and that'll all be connected when we finish. This is where your electric service comes into the house. Then we'll move into the mechanical room area. And here we've located your interior service panel, 3 panels, because you have requested an independent 60 amp, plus all of your interior circuitry will be in these 2 panels. The outlets and the lighting circuits. This is structured wiring panel, a low volt. This is the power source for the low volt panel. And we've got a power outlet, low service outlet, but you've also requested an additional outlet here, 18 inches off the floor. And that's what this one is here. So we've got the furnace and double water heaters. These pipes coming down, drain pipes. One is from the laundry room, way upstairs, and the other is from that floor drain in the mechanical room. This is a Studer vent in the floor, just a vent pipe on the main. We got the air handler and the dual 50-gallon hot water tank. Located on this wall is an anti-scald device, and this goes up to the master tub, and we're required to put this in. This is an adjustable temperature gauge on the water going to the master tub. And the reason that's required is they don't want any young children, because master tubs are accessible, to scald themselves with too hot of water. So there's an adjustable temperature valve here. So as we move into the other unfinished area, got main sewer drop coming down. This pipe here is the vapor pipe. This is a vapor vent. As I mentioned, we put a complete interior drain system inside of the basement, below the slab, below the footing. And that drain system goes to the sump pit, plus there's a under drain connection to the city storm system. So the sump pits are basically backup systems to the drain, to the under drain system. But on top of that drain pipe, we install a vent pipe. This is to naturally vent any vapor that might collect underground, under the slab. It naturally vents up the pipe. This goes up through the roof. So that vapor pipe will vent any humidity or moisture that may collect underneath the slab. This is the sump pit, the front sump pit. This is the ejection pipe and power for the sump pump. This is what we call the main water tree. This is the main water service coming into the house from the street. We got a main shutoff valve low and an isolation valve up. That's so that if any service needed to be conducted onto the pressure regulating valve, that can be isolated. These are two T's that come off that will connect to the main service here. This T here is for the irrigation water for the landscaping, and then this another shutoff valve for the main service over to the hot water heaters. This is grounding bonding. This copper wire is a bond around the shutoffs so that we'll never lose electrical grounding. There's also a secondary ground into the garage, into an underground rod that goes through the foundation. So this is the main water service, isolation valves. We do put a booster pump here. Your house does get a booster pump. That's what these two pipes are for. That circulates through the booster pump, and that'll be installed prior to rough inspections next week. So this is the main water service area. And as you can see, we've got a little going on here. There was a change to the plan. This is in the finished basement. This is where the wet bar goes. Well, in the initial design, the engineers made a mistake, and they had this support column located right here, which is in the center of the wet bar area. So we had a structural design for a new pad that we put into the ground to support this post, relocated the post out of the wet bar area. Now it's in a buried wall in the wet bar finish area. So with our wet bar design, which Kyle I'm sure can share with you, this post is now outside the wet bar area. So that pretty much wraps things up. We're going to go outside and talk for another minute. That takes care of everything inside. And if you have any questions or comments, please reach out to Kyle. He and I are in communication even on both of our days off. So hopefully things are going well with you and you're happy with the way things are going and the production. And we'll talk a little bit more outside. Okay, Troy and Cassandra, we're back outside and I'm wrapping things up. As I mentioned, when we started, we were going to talk about the grading and drainage, the gutters and downspouts. I may not have pointed out those downspouts, all of the downspout locations, but they'll be pretty visible when you see the downspouts get installed in about a week. We try and make them as unobtrusive as possible. The elevation and window grids. You selected the modern prairie elevation, and in the modern prairie elevation, there are no window grids. So all of your glass is clear. The electrical locations, we looked at all the electrical options in those locations in the house. I don't think I missed anything. The low voltage security we covered, plumbing and mechanical, change orders. I'm not allowed to make any, we can't make any more changes. Everything has been ordered. What I mean by changes is you can't change the color of your countertops or the color of your kind of cabinets. Those are already ordered and hopefully are arriving in Denver in a couple of weeks. As I had mentioned, the last item here is projected schedule, where we are. And as I had mentioned, we'll be wrapping the exterior in the next week. Then we'll move to flat work concrete as weather permits. On the inside, I begin the rough inspection process with all of the city inspectors and the third-party inspectors beginning next Monday, the 25th. And I'm hoping I'll be able to move through all of those inspections successfully, by mid to end week next week. And then we move to insulation and drywall stock right behind. So with that said, if I'm to drywall stock by the 1st of the month, I'm projecting your house right now will finish end of May, early June. Now my personal goal is to have this completed by Memorial Day, and that'll put me right into the timeline that I hope to achieve. So you can just stay in touch with Kyle, because he gets weekly updates, and especially as I get to drywall, things begin to move a little bit more rapidly. So right now I'm projecting that next week we'll move through the rough inspection processes with everyone, and then moving to insulation by the 1st of the month and drywall stock. So we got February, March, April, and May to complete your house, and I feel very confident that we'll stay on that schedule, barring any supply chain issues. Now we have been experiencing many issues with appliances, and I want to make you aware of that now. So hopefully your house, we won't have hiccups, but we've had some on previous houses that we're still waiting on appliances, but we have no control over that with the supply chain. But Kyle will keep you posted as we move forward. So that's it for me. It's very nice to be able to build your house, and I appreciate all of your input. And let me know if there's anything additional I can do. Thank you.